Well, hello, my valued listeners, and welcome back to another episode of Living in Your Power. I'm your host, Dr. Marlene Greenleaf, and as always, I am truly grateful that you are here with me today. Now, as we continue our April theme, Aligned and Assigned, Walking in Purpose with Clarity, today we're stepping into something that many of us wrestle with more than we realize. Today's episode, the second in our April series, is titled Obedience over Overthinking. Now, let's be honest. There's nothing wrong with thinking things through. Absolutely not. Discernment matters, wisdom matters, and being thoughtful matters. But there's a point where thinking stops being helpful and starts becoming hesitation. We replay the same question. We analyze every angle. We wait for perfect clarity, and we look for confirmation after confirmation. And before we realize it, we are not discerning anymore. We're delaying. That, my dear listeners, is overthinking. And overthinking, it often feels responsible. But sometimes it's rooted in fear. Fear of making the wrong decision. Fear of stepping out too soon. Fear of not having all the answers. And while we're trying to get it right, we stay stuck. Now, our anchored scripture today comes from James 1:22, the King James Version, and it says, "But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves." It says, be doers, not just hearers. And that means at some point, what you've received must be acted upon. What you've prayed for, what you've discerned, what you keep coming back to. There comes a time, dear listeners, there comes a moment where you have to move. Not because you have every detail, but because you trust what has already been revealed. And overthinking keeps you in your head, but obedience moves you forward. Obedience is not always loud. It's not always dramatic. Sometimes it looks like sending the message, making the call, saying yes or saying no, taking one step without knowing the next 5. And that can feel uncomfortable because obedience requires trust. Not in your ability to control the outcome, but in God's ability to guide your path. You don't need full clarity to take the next right step. You just need enough trust to move. And here's the truth. We don't always say it out loud, but overthinking keeps you safe. Obedience grows you. I'll say that again. Overthinking keeps you safe, but obedience grows you. So let's come back to this. It says, be doers, not hearers only. Now here's your empowerment pop for this week. I want you to take a moment and reflect on this. What have I been overthinking that I already have clarity on? Where is God asking me to move, even if it feels uncomfortable? And what is one step I can take this week in obedience? You don't have to have everything figured out. You just have to take the next step. So I want to repeat those 3 prompts for you to take a moment and reflect upon. You ask yourself, what have I been overthinking that I already have clarity on? Where is God asking me to move, even if it feels uncomfortable? And what is one step I can take this week in obedience? I want you to reflect on these, write it down, and take action. And remember again, you don't have to have everything figured out, dear listeners. You just have to take the next step. So in closing, I want to remind you, overthinking will keep you in circles, but obedience will move you forward. It may not feel perfect. It may not feel certain, but it will always move you closer to your purpose. You are not being asked to figure everything out. You are being asked to trust and take the next step. So I want to thank you for joining me today on our episode 2 of our April series, Aligned and Assigned, Walking in Purpose with Clarity. And I'll see you or hear from you next week when our topic will be when God redirects your path. So until next time, dear listeners, I want you to continue to live boldly in your power today. And if it gets tough, just breathe. You still got the strength to rise. So I'll see you next time. And continue to live in your power.